These needs can't be met any other way. And here's the thing, and I come back to Michael Jackson. God's made Israel that way. He's made marriage that way. And He created you. You can't function healthy without Him. It's a setup. And all of the things that we've come up with to distract us, once you've achieved money, wealth, fame, all the things that should make you happy, if you don't find Jesus, then you're going to jump out of a building. There's a reason why Hollywood spends more money on gurus and counseling and their drugs and their humming and their and whatever else they do. Their quirky, crazy, nutty religions that they come up with. All of them reaching, because here's the thing, they spent everything. They've achieved everything the world says should make them happy. And there's more money. I'll tell you, if you want to make money as a counselor, even as bad as the economy is in California, just go set up shop and come up with some weird something. And they'll line up and pay you big bucks. You know what the sad thing is? The answer's easy. I don't know why we're so stubborn to just bow a knee and say, "You're Lord." That's the answer. That's how He's created us. A couple of things, just as we're moving forward here. This week and next week, we're going to just kind of dance around these subjects right here. We're being transformed. You have to create a new normal, define a new normal. Got these 4 basic needs. Now to Jeremiah, and I'll conclude with this. Run to Jeremiah. We start to get some answers between us and God. Again, I can't say it enough. Just being saved is not enough for you to be healed. They're saved, and then you begin this lifetime of being transformed. And can I tell you, I'll take some pressure off of you. You never reach there. The Bible says this, when I see Him, Jesus, then I will be like Him. What will happen in this lifetime is there will always be a tension between what you ought to be and where you are. Paul said it this way, I haven't arrived yet. I'm not what I ought to be. But I'm forgetting what's behind and I'm pressing forward toward the mark of the high call of God. Let me tell you, God's tricky. When you start getting close and think you're almost there, God goes like this. Poof. I'm serious. And it can be frustrating the first couple of times that line moves because you realize the tension is a part of it. There's always a tension. I tell you, I've actually kind of coached myself and our staff even here in the last couple of weeks to not be so heavy on preaching ought to be, what you ought to be, what you children ought to be, what you students ought to be. Because that puts a pressure. That's like jumping 5 mountains. So we got to be careful, and be careful how you judge your own self. But anyway, that's the trick right there. You're being transformed, and it is a lifetime deal. So if you're looking for a quick fix, wrong church, wrong place, wrong. It's a lifetime. Are you with me? Very quickly, Jeremiah 1, verse 4. Jeremiah has approached the Lord basically to say, hey, I think you got the wrong guy. And God begins to speak, says, now the word of the Lord came to me saying, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you were born, I consecrated you. I have appointed you a prophet to the nations. Then I, Jeremiah, said, alas, O God, behold, I don't know how to speak. I am a youth. But the Lord said to me, do not say, I am a youth, because everywhere I send you, you will go. All that I command you, you shall speak. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you to deliver you, declares the Lord. Then the Lord stretched out His hands and He touched my mouth. And the Lord said to me, behold, I've put my words in your mouth. See, I've appointed you this day over the nations and over the kingdoms, to pluck up, break down, destroy, overthrow, to build, and to plant. This first line is so wonderful. Jeremiah has come, this very young prophet, and he is feeling the weight of what God is calling to. And can I tell you, anytime you get a picture of how God sees you, it will overwhelm you. He sees you so much more valuable and so much more capable than you see you. Because He doesn't identify you by your weaknesses. Your limitations, He doesn't see them as limitations to Himself. So He doesn't identify you by your limitations. Here is Jeremiah saying, I think you've got the wrong guy. Has anybody in here ever thought of the calling of the Lord on your life and thought, well, God, there's some things I hadn't told you. You're going to be shocked, I know. Here's what God was telling Jeremiah. Jeremiah, before you knew you, I knew you. Before you were ever born, I communed with you. I shaped your personality. Lord, this thing in my personality, I just hate this about me. Don't say that. Don't resent me like that. I knew you. Before you could even find something wrong with you, I saw that. I created you. I know you better than you know you. And I knew you. In fact, Jeremiah, you were my idea. Your personality, how I wired you, you were my idea. Do you think one of my ideas I would reject? You think I didn't see the weaknesses? You think I didn't see the propensities? You think I didn't see that you would make some good decisions and some bad and get it right and get it wrong and be strong and be weak? Jeremiah, I know you better than you know you. You're rejecting yourself. I know more about you on both sides of that coin. And I created you. And before you were born, I knew you. And I loved you. I accepted you. I could have just said, no, I don't like you, and then you would have never been born. But you were my idea. I don't know that we know how known of God we are. The Bible says He knows every sparrow that falls, and He knows every hair on our head. You don't even know how many. Some of you guys can count your hair better than others. But most of you don't know anything about that. But God knows us. David said it this way, Lord, you've searched me, good, bad, and the ugly, and you've known me. Now, I want you to know something. There is a healing that happens if you'll stop, just, if you will accept by faith this truth about you. God knew you before you were born. He looked at your life from front to back and said, I like it. I just like Him. While you were a sinner and before you were born, Jesus died for you. He loved you so much. I can't, there's not a thing on this planet. I can't even imagine sending one of my sons to die for anything. There's nothing so valuable that I would send one of my sons to die for. Can't think of it. There's things maybe I would die for. I would die for one of them. I would die for my wife. Beyond that, I can't think of anything. God loved us so much before we were born, He knew us. And the value to Him was such that He said, I'll give my son. I want them so bad, I give my son. That's not just to Jeremiah, that's to you. That thing that's broken on the inside that you thought, gosh, I just want somebody just to know, does anybody get me? Just one. Just one. He's God. And He got you before you were ever created. And He knew you, and He called you, and He shaped you, and He appointed you, and He gave you purpose, all for His pleasure. And then you were born. He sees the beginning from the end. God knows you. Second thing I want you to understand. He gave him an instruction. I leave you with this and we'll close. Jeremiah said, I'm a youth. I'm a youth. I don't know how to speak. God, what is this you're doing? And God gave him, I think, a stern instruction. Don't say that. You stop saying that. Don't identify yourself by your weaknesses and your shortcomings. All the thinking on this earth identifies us by our lowest moment, and we tend to just normally take that in. Our failure, our weakness. I say the name Jimmy Swaggart. All of you old church people. How many of you have heard the name Jimmy Swaggart? I want you to know millions of people came to Christ through that guy.